Hi everyone, my name is Mallory and today we are going to be focusing on our hips. So a lot of the times when we first wake up, our hips will be really tight. If you've been sitting a lot or sitting in not a usual position, or even with running, your hips can really start to tighten up and you can wake up feeling pretty sore. I know that's something I've been experiencing a lot lately. So today I will be taking you through my daily hip stretch. So we will get started in a butterfly position at the top of your mat. The only thing you will need today will be maybe a block or two or a couple of blankets for extra support. So when you're ready, come into that butterfly pose, drawing your heels in towards one another, moving the flesh from underneath your sit bones, really beginning to lengthen through your spine. So as you're pressing the outer edges of your knees down towards your mat, you're also pressing into your sit bones, reaching the crown of your head up towards the ceiling, allowing your body to naturally open. We will be holding poses a little bit longer than usual, just to allow our bodies to relax and really fully release. If you are looking for something a little bit extra here, you can pull your heels in a little bit closer to your body, still keeping nice length through your spine, bringing your hands where they're comfortable on your feet. Wherever you are, really try to press your knees open, drawing them closer down towards the earth. Sending breath into your inner thighs. From here, start to move your knees up and down. So taking that butterfly motion just a little bit. Extending the range of motion. Take a couple more rounds of breath here. Keeping your left foot where it is, we're going to come into a cradling happy baby. So your right arm is going to come around your right knee, left hand comes to your left foot. Depending on how tight your hips are feeling right now, you might be out here, you might be in a little bit closer, but allow your body to naturally open. So you're going to try to keep your right leg nice and strong. And just shaking your leg side to side. Maybe pull your left foot in a little bit more. Flexing through your right foot. Maybe you pull your leg in a little bit more. Depending on this day, it might feel really good or it might not. I know a lot of times when my hips are feeling really tight, this isn't necessarily a pose that I overly enjoy, but it is beneficial. And find stillness here. And slowly release your right leg down. Switching out your legs, making the connection of your right hand to your left foot, and then cradling your leg. If you're feeling nice and open and your hips feel nice and lubricated, maybe your hands come to touch. Just moving side to side, you might feel a nice stretch in your lower thigh, your inner thigh. And once again, find stillness here. So whatever grip is comfortable for you, keep flexion in your foot. Still keeping your spine nice and long. Couple more breaths. And slowly release down. Both soles of your feet planted on your mat. Coming into a seated figure four. Right ankle crosses over your left knee. And keep your right foot flexed. So you're really pressing into your left foot, into your mat or onto the ground. Hands come behind you or next to your sides. And really keeping your right foot flexed so that you're pressing your right knee forward. And find what feels good for you. So if this feels really good, you're starting to feel the opening, you're feeling that stretch in your right hip, stay here. If you want a little bit more of a deeper stretch, you can pull your left heel in a little bit more. So you're getting more length in your spine, and you're also holding your shoulders back as you press through your right knee. This is very similar to the stretch that we would get in a standing figure four. It's just a little bit less compression. Keep pressing your right knee forward. And see what adjustments you can make here to make this feel more purposeful. Maybe you really focus on pressing through your left foot. Maybe you see if you can adjust your hands in a way to lengthen through your spine and create more resistance in the stretch. Take a couple more rounds of breath. And slowly release. Bringing the right sole of your foot down to your mat, adjusting your hands. Then bringing your left ankle overneath your right knee. Coming into a seated figure four on this side. Once again, just starting with really flexing through your left foot, pressing your right foot into your mat. And then come to a hand adjustment. So if you want your fingers pointing back behind you, or if you want them pointing to the sides, whatever feels comfortable on your shoulders and your back, focus more on the hips here. Beginning to breathe into your left hip. Maybe you begin to crawl your right heel in a little bit further. You get a deeper stretch. Take a couple more rounds of breath. And slowly release out. Bringing yourself into a tabletop position. We're just going to be here for a second. Coming into low lunge. Right foot steps in between your hands. Tucking your left toes underneath, lifting your kneecap off your mat. Moving into Skandasana right away. Bending into your right knee, left toes point up towards the ceiling. Couple of options here. Keeping your hands on your mat, bringing them to a lock or a heart center. This is a great hip opener as well as a hamstring opener. So if your right heel doesn't connect to the mat, that's okay. Just focus on what you can do to open through your right hip a little bit more. Keep it a nice long spine. Continuing to breathe. Here for a couple more breaths. Bringing your hands down to your mat, returning to a low lunge. coming into lizard. So right foot heel toes to the outer edge of your right foot or your right hand. You can keep your left leg lifted here if this feels good, and you can maybe get hip opening through this version. Option to drop your left knee down. And here you'll have a few options as well. So maybe you just want to pull your heart forward as you pull your tailbone back, creating the length through your spine, feeling the hip opening through your right hip. You can always come onto the outer edge of your right foot here as you pull your heart forward, pressing down through your palms. Using a block where it feels good. Maybe bringing your hands or your forearms to a block. Really seeing if you can let go to any tension that you're holding into in your right hip and just release. If you're not in an active lizard already, begin to return by tucking your left toes underneath, lifting your left knee off your mat. Bringing yourself into malasana. So left foot is going to step to the outside of your left hand. You're going to lower your hips down. So for malasana, one of our deeper hip stretches we're getting into today. Bringing your palms to your heart center and using your elbows to press into your inner knees to open up through your hips. Now, if this is really uncomfortable for you, you can bring your sit bones to a block. Or maybe come out of this if it doesn't feel really good. I know I take a wider stance in my malasana because my hips are so tight. So I like to give them that extra room to allow to open and expand naturally. So drawing your tailbone down to the earth, pressing your elbows into your knees, keeping your spine long. Trying to keep both heels planted if you can. And slowly release out away from malasana, bringing your hands back down to your mat. Low lunge, stepping your right foot back, left foot is in between your hands. And maybe just move forward and back a few times. Your right hip is probably starting to feel a lot more open than your left. So from your low lunge, come into Skadasana right away. Right heel connects to your mat as you reach your right toes up towards the ceiling. Once again, this is where you're going to feel the difference in between your hips. I can feel the tightness in my left hip comparing to the opening in my right. Once again, bring your hands down to the earth or to a block, or draw them to your heart center. Being gentle here, knowing the differences that you're feeling in both hips. Be kind to your body. Staying here for a few more rounds of breath to even out the sides. Coming back to a low lunge, top of your mat. Left foot, heel, toes to the outside of your left hand, coming into lizard. Now staying active by keeping your right knee lifted or dropping it down. You don't have to take the same movement you did on the other side, but you're more than welcome to. Or maybe coming onto the outer edge of your left foot, using your props to help you. And it doesn't have to be right away that you come into the full expression. You can do steps. So you can start by being up on your hands Once you feel a little bit more open, coming down onto the block. That way you're giving your body the time to really adjust. Keep sending breath into your left hip. Couple more rounds of breath. Coming back to an active lizard, tucking your right toes underneath. Lift your right knee off your mat. Bringing yourself into Malasana. So your right foot is going to step to the outside of your right hand and lowering your hips down. I like to sway side to side a few times here to put my hips in the right position before I really get settled in. Especially if you have tighter hips, you will feel going into Malasana the first couple of times is really quite a stretch. This might feel a little bit better than it did the last time because your body's a little bit more used to it. But still focusing on drawing your tailbone down, keeping your spine long. We won't stay here as long this time. Take 3 more rounds of breath. Bringing your hands down to your mat and bringing yourself into a tabletop. From your tabletop, wave your hips side to side. Just bringing yourself into a gentle child's pose for a moment. So big toes come to touch, knees wide to the edge of your mat, extending your arms out long. Allowing your forehead to connect to your mat. And the wider you bring your knees here in child's pose, the more of a hip stretch you're going to get. So you can stay here in child's pose if this feels good and you feel like you are getting that hip opening. Otherwise, my favorite pose that I like to do is prone frog. So you can stay from where you are in child's pose and you can really just come into a gentle tabletop for a moment, bringing your right knee to the outer edge of your mat. So the trick here is you want to keep both feet really flexed. And you can use your right knee to slide out. If you're on a hard floor surface or something like that, you can use the slippery surface to slide out for your right knee. This is a really intense hip opener for some people. So you can bring your knees on top of blankets. You can bring your chest or your forehead onto a block, or maybe just come out of it a little bit. But keep your feet nice and flexed, pressing your forearms down into your mat. A lot of the times I will start my classes with this in my own personal practice because I do have such tight hips and I need that passive and active stretching for my hips to open and allow me to move more naturally through a practice. So keep flexing, keep pressing down. And if this just isn't what you want to be doing, I completely understand. You can stay in a child's pose. Take a couple more rounds of breath. And slowly begin to walk your hands underneath your shoulders and coming back to a tabletop. So take your time drawing your right knee back to your left. Coming back to the center of your mat, give your hips a nice wag side to side. And we'll close out with a pigeon. We're going to take a full pigeon, sleeping pigeon pose here. If you prefer supine, you can as well. Reaching your right leg nice and high in a three-legged dog. Draw your right knee to your right wrist. Left foot pulls to the back of your mat. Take a baby back bend. And bring yourself down. Once again, using props as needed. If you do feel a lot of tightness in your right hip, and if you feel tightness in your hips when you're doing this pose, bringing a block right underneath your hip is a great modification. Will help support you while you can still get the benefits of this pose. Slowly begin to come out of your pigeon. You can stay longer if you like. Tucking your left toes underneath, returning to a three-legged dog. Take any counter movements. And take that on the left side. Left leg comes high as you draw your left knee to your left wrist, pulling your shin through. Really reaching your right toes to the back of your mat. Take an inhale to lift your heart and chest. And exhale to crawl yourself down. Bringing your forehead down to your mat, using your blocks as needed. Just really releasing any last tension you feel like you're holding in your body. If you're holding tension in your forehead, or even in your left hip, see if you can just relax and allow your body to do the work. Taking a couple more rounds of breath. And slowly come out to your sleeping pigeon, tucking right toes underneath. Take your left leg nice and high, take any counter movements you need. And median seated position. So those are a few hip opening exercises you can do, a few different poses, asanas that you can work through, holding longer for whatever feels good. Hopefully your hips are feeling nice and happy. I know I feel much better. Have a good day.